Seth Painter here with the Pharma Chatcast. Pharma known primarily for our live events, chatting with all your favorite pharma folks to get their perspectives on customer experience. Joining us today is Kristen Winters from Bayer. Say hello, Kristen.
Hi, Seth. Thanks for having me. I am Kristen Winters from Bayer. Right now, I'm customer experience lead for their North America's hub, working in the U.S.
Do you have a disclaimer for us?
So yes, I would say, as we all like to say, that it is the things we'll talk about today are more my opinion. They're my opinion and not that of Bayer's, so that we know this is purely you and I talking about my thoughts.
So let's dig right into that.
Sure.
What does CX mean to you in a broader sense?
Yeah. Well, recently being involved in this new role, but I've learned that we're really talking about customer experience all the time. I mean, in multi-channel marketing is where I came from, so it's been many, many years of that. And really, it's just constantly thinking about how the customer, whoever it is, whether it's patients or physicians or large customers and access and things like that, what their experience is going to be engaging with the company, right? So it's everything that we put out there to them. What will they experience with us? And so it's not just one-on-ones, and it's not just emails and newsletters by themselves, but everything that we do.
So being more specific with what you're responsible for today, how does customer experience layer onto that?
Well, we're trying to, on a daily basis, work with the brand teams from a educational standpoint and trying to help them think about more personalized experiences. So what's possible is driving more engagements and more personal engagements at that level, knowing more about the customer. So it's not just a group of physicians that you're sending the same message to all the time, which we normally do in this larger one-off email send. Say, for example, we do one blanket email and it goes out to a large customer base. But instead, thinking through it from a more segmented standpoint. So how could we talk to different parts based on what we know about them, and just generating it to be a little bit more relevant? Or can we talk to you in a different channel, which may make it more relevant to you as well?
And so your expertise is centered around digital,
Yeah.
and digital and customer experience have been buzzwords here for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and companies always trying to work on those and get better. Um, is customer experience digital? Is digital customer experience? Can you have one without the other? Should they even be separated?
Yes. So I would say first, in this day and age at 2020, it should not be separated ever again, in the sense that how could you not be digital at this point? But I think it's still continuing to try to find a way for pharma to be more digital in a smart way, because I think we all know healthcare has had a challenging time. Since I know I've recently heard two people mention about a doctor's visit and having to fax something, or getting a scan and getting it on a CD, which I know I have a few of, but I have no way to find out what's on those scans anymore. So I don't know how we do that. So I think digital, there's a huge place for a customer, no matter who it is, patient or physician, to be finding new ways to be digital. And I think I've definitely enjoyed having doctor visits over the last 15, 17 weeks that we've been doing this home isolation, and having definitely a teleconference like this with my physician has been a great experience. So I think it depends on the needs, but depending on if we can help that grow more and get physicians more comfortable with it, that makes an experience for a patient and a physician positive, I think, depending on the scenario.
So you're currently planning the Q3 fax blast
Right,
to both
exactly.
patients and HCPs?
Exactly. I mean, it's gone on, I think, too long for healthcare. So I feel like this is finally giving us the oomph that we need to get us over that hurdle to make things more digital and just more relevant.
Well, you mentioned telehealth. And you had a good experience with telehealth over the last 3 or 4 months. what do you see on the horizon for telehealth, and how are you guys interacting with that or intend to interact with that?
I would say I'm not going to speak on behalf of the company for that because we're not in that space right now. But I think personally, my personal thought is that this is creating the need for physicians to figure out how to connect, but we're also going to need support. So I think the biggest challenge too is finding which companies will step up and enable some of that. Definitely privacy is a huge concern for the physicians and the patients, but just having that private conversation, and how to make it easy. My GP, the first early days in March, I had visit, and it was on her cell phone, and she's like, "This isn't going to last forever. I can't do this." So then where is it going? That's the part that we need to find out, is that the companies that will step up and find ways to pull that together, partnering with their inside patient systems in the health system.
And you think that pharma should get involved with that?
That's tough to say. I think depending on the therapeutic category, there's probably a place for it in a way that you are, as we've talked about in the past, smaller patient categories probably could be a very nice customer experience for patients and physicians and the pharma company to support all of those who are involved. I think it depends on that situation. There's probably, I think if it gets too broad or if it's in a bigger space, it becomes a little too consumerized, and that's maybe less the place where pharma wants to be, and less where healthcare wants us to be too. So I think it depends, but I definitely think there's a place for everybody to make the experience better, working together, which I think this now with COVID has made that happen too, that we're talking about collaborations more, and I think that's good.
I think that's a good thing too. We talked a little bit about telehealth. What else do you see as coming up? What's next in customer experience and or digital or both as they intersect?
Well, I mean, I think it's only going to get better, which I am happy to see that we've made this sort of necessity is the mother of invention, as they say, right? So I think we're definitely seeing the needs are there, and it's made the conversations start happening and the partnerships start happening. And I think seeing data tell you a story rather than just knowing that it's there, I think that helps a lot. And so I think as we learn more, and then we'll get better with that, whether it's, I think having digital experiences for the patient and the HCP will improve as the systems come together. I think that pharma will find a place just from a partnership standpoint in terms of supporting customer information and customer engagements, whether it's patient or physician. And I think it just, as we learn more, I think I see us getting better, and I'm hoping that the time span for that will just shorten, because we're going to learn faster, hopefully, and sort of jump to the next thing faster than we would have if we weren't in this scenario.
I did recently read that telehealth, back to that again, but telehealth increased during April and May and then started to decrease again as folks felt more comfortable with going back to their doctors, or maybe not just comfortable, but it was finally available. That's a technology, that's an experience, that's digital in terms of what we're thinking about here. But I wonder if any other types of digital channels or engagement experiences will also tend to regress where they had spiked a little bit during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. I think there's always a place for email, right? There's always communication back and forth. I think there's still an opportunity for engaging in a conversation online. I'd like to see chatbots increase where they would be useful, because there can be a standardized conversation, or at least keyworded informed conversation, when you have something that's pretty basic that can trigger conversations and then lead to the live person if it needs to. I think that would be nice to see. Some things can just have support. I definitely think so.
I'm not a big chatbot guy, but
no,
I do like live chat.
Well, that's true too, and I think that's where it gets to it. I've been very frustrated with chatbots at some points in time where you're like, all right, put in the right keyword, figure out how to get it to the person so that I know what I have to say. And I think that's just knowing the system, right? But I think that we're in an age of where AI will come in more, and we'll learn more from the system will learn more as the data evolves, then there'll be more to say and do in that. I think that's got a ways to go, but I think there's opportunity to support patients better as we learn more.
Definitely in the infant stages of AI.
Yes.
So,
I thought
looking
I'd
forward
throw
to
in all
living
the
through that.
lingo.
Throwing all the buzzwords for us. No, that's good. Final question. Will there be a Major League Baseball season?
Oh, I don't think so.
Really?
Sadly, I don't know. Well, I guess some of the things I've seen, without audiences. So I think it'll still be, maybe they're playing and they're on TV.
Well,
So
that would be nice, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a heck
yeah,
of a lot of players left after they get done with the testing. So we'll see what happens from there. So thank you, Kristen.
yes,
And we
absolutely.
will hopefully see you soon at a Panagore Live event.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Anytime. I was glad to do this. I'm always happy to talk to you, Seth. So
Thanks.
thanks.